Hey guys, welcome back to another Premier League predictions video. Today we return with Game Week 36. Now, of course, as I said in the previous episode, we are getting towards the climax of the series now, so it's getting harder and harder to predict the outcome of most of the games. The website is the same as in the Game Week 35 video, so if you are interested, go back, check it out in that video. But it does mean that we can run through these games in perhaps a little bit more detail. So first up, I've gone for Leeds 1, Newcastle 3. I think pretty much everyone will have Newcastle to win that. Leeds in real trouble, although they have now got Big Sam in charge, so if he does pull off this survival, it will go down as one of his best, but their running is so difficult. I think they've got to play City, Newcastle, Spurs on the final day, and I'm not sure who they play Game Week 37, but it's such a tough run-in. They're odds on for me to go down, I would say. But I've gone for Newcastle to win. They're in great form at the moment, closing out the season, so gone for both teams to score, as Leeds generally aren't too bad going forward, but Newcastle to win pretty comfortably for me. I've then gone for Villa to beat Tottenham. Villa in great form as well, similarly to Newcastle. Did lose at Old Trafford to end their winning streak or unbeaten streak, but Spurs are so bad away from home. I've gone for Villa to win this one. I'm not sure a lot of people will have gone for it. I may be wrong, but I'm hoping that we might potentially get some points that other people won't pick up. I've then gone for Chelsea v Forest, which if the season had started in January would have been a relegation 6-pointer. Luckily Chelsea are just about safe, but I have gone for them to win. I really want Forest to stay up, and they do need to get some points. I wouldn't be surprised if they nicked something at Stamford Bridge because of the way Chelsea are playing, but I have gone for Chelsea to win. I think we have to win at some point between now and the end of the season, and our other games are Newcastle, United, and somebody else, can't remember. Oh, City. So yeah, nice and easy running. So this is like our only chance of winning a game at the end of the season. If we don't win this, we're going to go winless for months. I think March was the last time we won. So I've gone for Chelsea to win. Wouldn't surprise me if Forest got something out of that. I've then gone for Crystal Palace to draw 1-1 with Bournemouth. I think both teams will be feeling relatively safe, probably Palace more so, but I think both would be quite happy for a point in this one, so I've gone kind of safe with a 1-1 draw. I've then gone for United to beat Wolves. United are like a different team home and away, and they just lost to Brighton in the last minute thanks to a penalty from McAllister. But yeah, away from home they're awful, much better at home, so I've gone for a 2-0 win. I think they'll win relatively comfortably. Not sure Wolves will cause them that many issues away from home, and I've also gone for that as my joker game, so was really unsure what to go for. I went for United to beat Wolves by 2-0. I've then gone for another draw, Game 6, Southampton v Fulham. Southampton looking ever more likely to go down. This is a game they absolutely have to win if they've got any chance, but I don't see it happening now. They've given it a good go, but I do think they'll be the first to go, and I've gone for a 1-1 draw in this one just because I think Southampton just don't have enough quality to win these sorts of games, even the must-wins. So gone for 1-1. Fulham, not really a huge amount to play for, but a draw nonetheless. I've then gone for Brentford, who are still potentially chasing European football, to beat West Ham by 2-0. West Ham, another team that I think are probably on the verge of being safe. So, you know, they've got quite a tough run in as well, but a couple more points will probably see them be okay, probably one more win. But Brentford away, really tough place to go. Brentford are great at home, so I've gone for a 2-0 victory. Next up, the two teams at the top, Everton against Manchester City and Arsenal v Brighton. I've gone for the top two both to win by the same scoreline, which is 2-1. I think this game for Manchester City might potentially be in between the two Real Madrid ties. So I have a feeling, you know, it's difficult to say they'd be more focused on that, but you'd have to say in the position they're in, they probably will want the Champions League more. So I've gone for both teams to score. I still think City will win it just because they have so much quality, but tough one to predict that. Like, at this stage of the season, you think it's a banker, but you can never be sure. And then Arsenal against Brighton, another really tough one to pick. Brighton for me are such a good side. They play great football, risky football, but when it pays off, they're a great side to watch. And another thing that I love about them is they're not afraid to go and play against the big boys. I get the feeling that they really enjoy playing those sorts of teams. Obviously, as I mentioned earlier, beat United by 1-0, but going to the Emirates, it's going to be really tough for them. I'm hoping they can get something out of it. Arsenal's form has kind of been a little bit inconsistent, so you never really know what you're going to get. I have gone for an Arsenal win, but again, it's another one of those where Brighton could get something out of it. And then game 10 between Leicester and Liverpool is another big game, particularly down the bottom for Leicester. I've gone for 2-1 Liverpool. They've still got an outside shot at getting into the top 4 if United completely bottle it, which I don't think they will. So arguably it's a bigger game for Leicester than it is for Liverpool. One of their remaining home games, so you know these are the games at the end of the season you've got to avoid defeat. Tough ask for Leicester. I've gone for 2-1 Liverpool, but I'd love to see Leicester pull off a result there. Then, as I mentioned at the beginning, we've got the Thursday game between Newcastle and Brighton. Again, like I mentioned earlier, big fan of Brighton's, but Newcastle up and Tyneside at St James's Park, I've gone for them to win by 2-1. Another 2-1. I've gone for a lot of 2-1s in this fixture. But it will be tough for Brighton. They've had quite a lot of fixtures and still have the most league games to play out of anyone. So they will have been away in London at the Emirates on Sunday and then travelling up to Newcastle for Thursday. I think it will be tough for them, which is why I've gone for the Newcastle victory. And as I say, joker game this week is Manchester United to beat Wolves by 2-0. And we will end just with a quick look at the league table. We have actually gained an extra point because we had Brighton to beat United. So we're now only 10 points behind 10th place instead of 11 as I think it was at the end of the previous one. But only the 1 point as I had Brighton to win by 2-1. But it's still pretty tight, 10 points between us and our end goal of 10th place. My dad is starting to slip down the table now, not had a very good week, so looks as if he will have to have a good end to the season to finish within the money. But for us, not really anything to play for other than securing that top 10 finish, which would put us in the top half of the table. But anyway guys, that will do it for today's video, Game Week 36. Let me know what your predictions are down below, and we will return with the last 2 fixtures in the Premier League and the FA Cup final very soon. Peace.